Hello, my name is Jonathan Tierney. I'm a third year industrial engineering major. I'm from Rome, Georgia. This is the team representing the Trader Joe's case study.
My name is Moran. I'm a third year industrial engineering and computer science major, and I'm from St. Simon's Island, Georgia.
I'm Eddy Prieto, and I'm a third year industrial engineering major from Miami, Florida.
My name is Kasey Joyce. I'm a third year industrial engineering major, and I'm from Alpharetta, Georgia.
Trader Joe's has been a unique addition to the marketplace since it entered in 1967. They've had a core set of values since day one. They are a quirky, unique supermarket whose target consumers are educated young people. Trader Joe's does not follow traditional supermarket rules. They sell trend-setting merchandise and have a unique Hawaiian shirt-wearing staff. Through its business model, Trader Joe's has developed an almost cult-like following amongst its customers. Trader Joe's did very well in 2013, but with new competition entering the marketplace, Trader Joe's may need to find a way to maintain its new competitive advantage.
To review the supermarket industry, supermarkets typically have very small profit margins because of price competition amongst different firms. Generally, there isn't much perceived difference between one firm's food and another's, so the choices to purchase is based purely on price. Supermarkets also have a high number of perishable items. That causes them to lower prices down to or below the profit margin price because these items will expire if they are not sold. This can also cause low profit margins.
Now here's Jonathan to talk about Porter's 5 Force analysis of Trader Joe's.
Again, I'm Jonathan Tierney, and I'm here to talk about Porter 5 Forces analysis of Trader Joe's. So, as you can see on the diagram here, the 5 main forces are the bargaining power of the buyers, the threat of new entrants, the bargaining power of suppliers, the threat of substitute products or services, and then the rivalry among existing competitors. The first force I'd like to talk about is the rivalry among existing competitors. Trader Joe's has a lot of competitors in the grocery market. There are a number of other supermarkets that sell groceries, and now there are also discount and warehouse stores that sell groceries as well, such as Costco, Walmart, Dollar General for very cheap prices. The way Trader Joe's tries to reduce its rivalry with these competitors is in two main ways. It differentiates its products from its rivals by not selling the same sorts of brand products that others do. It doesn't sell Cheerios, it doesn't sell Coke, it sells products from companies you've never heard of before. And then it constantly switches out its products week to week to keep things fresh. And then also, it does not sell many perishable things at its store, and that is a main issue for rivals, because if you have perishable products, then the race to sell these perishable products before they perish will keep going on and on. The second force I'd like to talk about is the threat of substitutes. Trader Joe's does not have a huge threat of substitutes. Food is necessary for people, and because of that, Trader Joe's will always have some people willing to buy things. And even at that, because Trader Joe's sells such distinct products and foods like granola and California wines that are not sold other places, even among foods it does not have many substitutes because it sells these distinct products. And then at the same time it sells such different kinds of household products, off-brand soaps and things such as this, that differentiate it again and make it hard to have substitutes for. The third force I'd like to talk about is buyer power. Buyers don't have much power at Trader Joe's. There's so many buyers of groceries in the market that they don't have much influence on Trader Joe's specifically. The fourth force I'd like to talk about is supplier power. Suppliers are weak to Trader Joe's, as I said before, because they have so many different products and they switch out their products week to week. They use a lot of different suppliers. Since they use so many different suppliers, no one supplier has power over Trader Joe's, and if Trader Joe's does not like a supplier, it can replace them with another supplier. And the fifth force I'd like to talk about is the threat of new entrants. There are not a lot of there aren't high barriers to entry for the grocery store industry, so there's a lot of new entrants. As I said before, discount warehouse stores like Costco and Walmart have started selling groceries, which has affected Trader Joe's hold on the market as well as other supermarkets. The main cost of entering the grocery store industry is food storage, and but the other transportation things can be easily sold afterwards. And I'd like to introduce Alex Moran to talk about financial analysis.
To recap, my name is Alex Moran, and I'm going to be discussing the finances today. This is the data table from Exhibit 2 of the Trader Joe's case study. It has all the data for the top 4 firms that are competitors with Trader Joe's. These ratios were created using the data from the previous table. You can use the ratios in order to determine the generic strategy that each of the top 4 firms uses. Whole Foods is using a differentiation strategy. It has a unique market where it can sell products to a specific segment of customers. It also has a high selling general and administrative expense percentage and a high gross margin, which imply that it has expensive goods and are both indicators of a differentiation strategy. It also sells the most groceries and has the most square feet of selling area of the top 4 firms. Kroger and Safeway are using a low-cost strategy. They both have low selling general and administrative expense percentages, low profit margins, and high returns on equity. What this means is that for every dollar invested in both Kroger and Safeway, Kroger returns 15 cents and Safeway returns 14 cents to the investors. Kroger has a higher asset turnover, which means that Kroger uses its assets more efficiently than Safeway does, and Safeway has a significantly higher gross margin and a slightly higher profit margin. SuperValue appears to also be attempting to use the low-cost strategy. However, it's getting a negative profit margin percentage. It's not sustainable because its costs significantly outweigh the profits. It has a low selling general and administrative expense percentage and a negative profit margin. Every dollar invested in SuperValue, they generate negative $49.52, so they're discouraging investors to invest in them, and they need to change their strategy quickly if they want to be sustainable. While Trader Joe's does not release its sales data, it can be determined that Trader Joe's is managed using a focus strategy because it sells its products to a narrow market segment or niche, and it knows that segment very well. Trader Joe's consistently delivers low cost to its customers and had the 12th highest amount of grocery sales with the 12th most selling area of any supermarket in 2013, according to the case study. What these results mean is that companies can do well financially using any of the 3 generic strategies. All 4 of the top supermarkets had a high asset turnover and a high gross margin percentage. That means that they all used their resources well and they generated a good bit of revenue. All 4 also had relatively similar and low selling, general, and administrative expense percentages. So all companies had managers that spent wisely. What this shows is that if implemented correctly, any of the 3 strategies can be used to help make a company profitable. With that being said, determining which of the 4 supermarkets was the best overall performer in 2013 is dependent on who's doing the comparison. Investors would primarily see Kroger as the best performer due to Kroger having the highest return on equity, which means that people who invest with Kroger would receive the most bang for their buck. In terms of resource efficiency, industrial engineers may prefer Kroger as well due to its high asset turnover. Managers would probably prefer Whole Foods due to its high return on assets and high profit margin percentages. With all that being considered, going purely by profit, it's our opinion that Whole Foods was the best overall performer in 2013. Thank you for your time. Now here's Kasey to talk about Trader Joe's competitive advantage in the marketplace.
Again, my name is Kasey Joyce, and I'll be talking about Trader Joe's competitive advantage. One of their main competitive advantages is their wealth of human capital. Trader Joe's employees, on average, are paid much higher than the average supermarket employee. They also have more of a generalization of tasks, meaning they're not doing the same menial tasks every day coming into work. Due to these things, they feel more of a connection to the company. They feel like they want their individual store that they're working at to be successful. This directly relates to how they treat the customer. They're more knowledgeable about the product, and they're more willing to help. Trader Joe's really likes to target a specific audience of who they want their customers to be. Therefore, they want their employees to be the same kind of targeted audience. This produces more of a social environment at Trader Joe's. It becomes less of a shopping experience and more of a social time that's fun and enjoyable. This starts immediately during training. Trader Joe's trains their employees and focuses on values rather than just the tasks at hand, making it more of a family feel. Another one of Trader Joe's competitive advantage is product differentiation. They have more of their own private labels rather than the generic ones. The average supermarket will look at trend graphs to see what product they want to bring into their market. Trader Joe's produces their own private labels. They want to set the trends and make markets for their product. They also have a very dynamic mix of products. They're constantly bringing new products in and taking products out. This produces the experience for the customer, feel like they found this item and that it's theirs. Therefore, they want to share it with their friends and family. This results in free advertising for Trader Joe's, word of mouth, which is their biggest advertising. There are some threats to competitive advantage. Expansion is the biggest one. As Trader Joe's grows across the nation, it's hard to stay true to their original principle, and it's hard to stay to that authentic neighborhood market that they're so widely known for. This also produces competitiveness internally among the employees. Sometimes the CEOs and managers don't get along, and Trader Joe's prides himself on no bureaucracy. But as it grows, employees start to really fight for that higher up manager position. Externally, other companies are going to try to come in and emulate the same things that Trader Joe's has. For example, the small neighborhood markets from Walmart and Target. But despite all this, I believe that the competitive advantages are sustainable. In regards to the threats of external competitors, they might be also the same neighborhood market feel, but they don't have the authentic and enjoyable presence that the Trader Joe's employees really brings. Also, despite the rapid growth in 2013, people are still begging for more, making Facebook groups to ask Trader Joe's to come to towns near them.
Again, I'm Eddy, and I'm going to be talking about Trader Joe's strategy moving forward. So we first recommend that Trader Joe's implements a social media platform. That includes Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So we believe that social media is now the best way to reach the younger generation of customers. The newsletter that Trader Joe's currently uses is great. However, the younger generation doesn't really read newsletters, so we believe that social media will be a better way to reach them. It's also a great way to show off the new weekly products and the new recipes that Trader Joe's likes to share on their websites. It's an easier way just in general to connect to the fanatic customer base as well. You can use social media to track, analyze, and take action on what the customers are saying in response in social media as well. And it's free advertising. It really can't hurt. It's a low-risk, high-reward strategy that keeps Trader Joe's fresh in customers' minds whenever they see a post by them. We recommend that Trader Joe's keeps their current store operations the same. The company values are really vital to the brand, and they need to stay intact. And that's why they have such a fanatic customer base. Trader Joe's has also found a niche market. They found their place in the industry and are comfortable at the top, and that's evident by their revenue per square foot leading in the industry. If you keep expanding at the current rate, we believe that Trader Joe's will stay at a great level and not lose their quirky cool or the charm of the store. However, expanding too fast could lead to losing some of its luster. Finally, in terms of where to expand, we have to be very selective on what new locations we choose. We recommend small college towns with liberal arts schools, and also using social media like in the past, as we've seen Facebook groups dedicated to bring Trader Joe's to our city. So we can use the social media platform that we previously installed to see where the customers would like it to be. And that's all for our group. We hope you enjoyed our presentation. Have a good day.